one great thing about the show is that everyone's here and everyone's focused. For me, our first stage was to get out of our restructuring from COVID. We're probably a couple of months away from that, so it was premature to announce anything. And so that's my first stage. But we can concurrently, we're back on the growth. You know, I think apart from the 100 aircraft that you mentioned, or smaller aircraft, we've been in discussions with Airbus on the XLR to increase our present order because we're seeing a lot of growth potential, and that aircraft is an aircraft we've always wanted. And so there are two current discussions, one on increasing our XLR order, and the second is on 100 aircraft for a smaller gauge. Both are progressing. I have some more meetings today, and hopefully within the next month or so we'd be announcing. This is kind of all about creating the first low-cost network airline akin to Emirates and Qatar.
And you are an all Airbus operator. And what's interesting with them is that we know they have a huge backlog. They have almost 10 years ahead of production of planes that they have to produce because they say of supply chain issues, etc. How is that affecting an airline like you when you order this plane that have to wait for so long to get your planes?
Yes, I mean, it in some ways it's not been bad because we're coming out of COVID, and so we're getting all our planes back in. But really, we hope that will end, and I think it is ending in my discussions. And so we're beginning to take our order book of 360 planes, and over the next 3-4 years we'll start ramping up. So we were lucky in a strange way that we weren't so affected because we were getting back from the horrible COVID era.
You have mentioned recently that Saudi Arabia is a top priority market. Of course, we see growing tensions in that region of the world. So how is that impacting your decision and whether this is still a top priority for you?
It's one of many priorities, Central Asian republics, etc. Saudi, I think, has put a lot of money into the tourism. It's a potential hub for us. The air show has also opened us up to many markets in the Middle East. Bahrain is also a very interesting market for us, and United Arab Emirates. So, look, I can't predict what's going to happen in the geopolitics, but we just have to move on. In my 23 years, we've been through many of these issues. You know, travel will always... I got here, no problem, flying over the Middle East, so I think, you know, hopefully it will be solved soon.
And yet there's a multiplication of conflict zones which affect the routes and the flying routes for the airlines, making them longer, more fuel consuming. So again, how is that impacting your business?
Well, look, the bulk of our business is in Asia. No conflicts there, and let's hope that stays that way. We're beginning to look at Europe, where, of course, there are some conflict zones. But, you know, I'm not an expert, but I flew on Emirates coming here. There were no delays, and the flight wasn't any longer. So I'm sure we'll navigate through that, like every other issue we've had to deal with.
Looking at Asia, how are you looking at China and India in terms of potential development there for the routes?
So China is still a very strong market for us. We're the largest international airline into China with over 20 destinations. We see growth still very strong. We've been a strange airline in that we've also brought a lot of people to China. So it's not a one way of just depending on Chinese. India is booming for us. That is a great market. With our network, we'll hit India and China from many, many destinations, not just the major capital cities, and we've been very strong in the secondary cities. But on top of that, Southeast Asia, ASEAN has really been growing for us, on top of North Asia with Korea, Japan, and of course Australia. And a new exciting market for us is, which people haven't really talked about much, is the Central Asian republics. We just started flying to Kazakhstan. We're going to do Uzbekistan soon. These are great markets and great for our whole network.